happy Thursday. I just wanted to make this really quick video to give a massive thank you to the following people. I have got you on a list here. I'm going to then put the rest of the names down the side because some people will see this video and other people, I don't know how to tag them in it. So I'm just going to list the names to thank them that way instead. But I want to give the following thanks to the Koppels, Stuart and Leo Adventures, Adventures with Zach, Get Binky, Thumbs Up Kids and the Despicable 3. Because thanks to all these wonderful families here on YouTube, they actually helped us to get something very important for Dawn-louise's medical needs and for her future wish trip. With this, she will be able to go on a plane because she does need this to be able to have oxygen and vice versa. And that is her brand new pulse ox. So I have filmed us opening this, so I'll insert those clips and talk over those. But I just wanted to say a really quick and very big thank you because this is quite life-changing for us. This new pulse ox is very high grade, very expensive medical equipment that is not given out to families. You will have to get the money for yourself, and raising a child with additional needs, you do end up having a lot of extra expenses and it becomes very difficult to get these like high priced items that do better their life. So the reason that we've got this is because for Dawn-louise to be on a plane, she would need oxygen continuously, which means that we would then need to be able to monitor her oxygen saturations continuously as well. And up until now, the only pulse oximeter machine we had was one of these. If you've been to a GP surgery, you've probably seen these and used one. It just clips onto the finger and it tells you your oxygen and your heart rate. Now, this is great apart from a few things. It's very temperamental on cold and fidgety fingers. And unfortunately, I have a child who has cyanosis, so her hands are always cold, and she's also a child, so of course she is going to fidget from time to time. Also, the other problem with that is that it does not have continuous monitoring. It is only for spot checks, so I would have to be constantly taking it off and checking her over every like 5-10 minutes, depending on how she looked on the plane. Now, where I've never done this before, it would create a very much more stress-filled environment and experience for myself. So now that we have this one, it's going to really change things for us and make life a lot easier. Back in May, there is some videos in the HLHS and CHD playlist on our channel of Dawn-louise being admitted into hospital via an ambulance, and that's because her saturations dropped. Why we had to stay overnight for one of those turns was because they started to drop the minute she fell asleep. Now, these SATS probes are not meant to be used when they're asleep because they can be knocked off so easily, whereas this one, it is made for it. So the clips are, they have like little flaps on the side and it stops the finger from being able to sort of wiggle out. And I also have this wrap probe one to wrap around her as well. Unfortunately, this is the wrong size, so I'm gonna have to order another one because this was actually mismarked on the website. It said pediatric disposable sensor, and then on the packet it said neonatal, so this is meant for very young babies to infants, not for 7-8-year-old children. Dawn-louise herself is 8.5, so we're looking at using more like adult sized ones now because our hands are quite large. But I also have the small pediatric one as well. This works good on her little fingers and little toes if we can't get a reading on the other fingers, like say she'd cut it or something and we had to use a different finger, this would work better on that. Now, the reason that I am absolutely in love with this machine is because it not only lets me monitor her constantly, I can use this while she's asleep, which is very helpful because I am her full-time carer, but I'm also human and I do need to sleep. So when she is having bad saturation turns, I end up having to be up every hour to be able to check them if she is in sort of like a critical state. And obviously that's not the easiest thing to do, having to wake up and then force yourself back to sleep for another hour. It can get a little bit difficult and it does cause obviously problems with myself. So having this, and it will beep and alert when it's being knocked off. It will beep and alert when her saturations go out of range. I can set a parameter so that it alerts when it goes too high or too low from what I set it as, which is very, very helpful. A lot of these machines don't have alarms. This one, for example, doesn't. So even if I could get her to wear this during the night, I'd have no way of being woken up by it. Another really amazing thing about this pulse oximeter is that I can actually record or monitor the saturations and the heart rate and the pulse that we're getting through the machine, and you can then log that into a computer, and that way I can then pass it on to her cardiologist. So say she's having a day where her saturations are going from 75, which is the very, very lowest, and then dipping just below and then come back up again. That wouldn't mean that she needed oxygen because they're not staying below 75, but would be very helpful for the cardiologist to see the trend and see what's causing it, see if it's something we really need to be worried about. So all in all, this is really going to make life so much easier. It's going to take that little bit of stress away, and it is going to enable Dawn-louise to be on a plane with her oxygen. So honestly, thank you so much for everyone who has tried to help us get this. I so appreciate it, and I just wanted to show you that your money did go to what I said it would. This is something we've needed for a while, and it's just been incredibly hard to get by ourselves. So I really truly appreciate everyone's help, and I just thank you. I hope that one day we'll be able to give back, either back into the same heart community that we are a part of, or give back to the people who donated if we're able to. It's definitely something that I'm looking into doing. I'm trying to think of ways that I can give back, because people have been so incredibly generous, and I really truly appreciate it so much. So yeah, I'm going to insert the clips of us opening it, show you what's in it and what we're using for it and sort of how it works. And yeah, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's a really short video, just to say thank you really. So thank you very much, and have a lovely week. Bye.
I'm going to show you how I use my pulsar. This is my pulsar, and this is the lead to my probe, and my mum is gonna put it in, and now she's going to hold the button for 5 seconds, and it goes like this, and there is a stand at the back. Now my mummy is going to put the probe on my finger. Yum, yum, yum. It's like a crocodile eating my finger.
Her oxygen and her heart rate, and this tells us how accurate it is. Now, if she removes the probe, now that she's removed it, it's alarming to tell me that there's no sensor active. So now she's going to put it back on, and it will begin to pick her up all over again. And because she's sat perfectly in range, it isn't beeping or anything. But if she was to go below 75 in the oxygen or above 85 in the oxygen, it would alarm. If her heart rate went over 110, it would also alarm. Now this is the cool bit. You can silence the alarm if you need to, but you can also press this. And I will show you this in another clip, but we can actually set it to her parameters. And you can also change the way that the screen looks by pressing this button. So if I press this, I can see the trend of her saturations. So if one changes, we can bring it up and check. It also tells me the time, that it's on pediatric settings, and the battery level. This does run on 4 AA batteries, so it can get a little expensive. Now, as you can see, Dawn-louise is fiddling behind me. And because she's doing that, it's changing this and telling her on the screen. And then you can also have it like this, or like this. So this is going to really change our lives and make things a bit easier. And we're really happy with it and very thankful to everyone who helped us get it. On a bad day when we need to watch her oxygen, she could just sit like this and watch TV and I'd be able to see it. Or we could swap the screen around and have it laying like this. But this way, she could just sit and chill and watch TV whilst I monitor her without having to constantly, with the blue one, it would be, give me your hand please. Sit here for 5 minutes like this, take it off, and then 10 minutes later, can I have your hand please? And then sit like that for another 5 minutes. With this, she can just sit and mind her own business. She could even fall asleep.
I'm faking. Thank you to everyone that helped us get it. We're super thankful. Mwah!
Everybody gives you advice, yeah, on how to live your life, how to live your life. Don't you know that life is full of surprises? You better realize,